All right, now someone sent me a Ask HershNoeie question, and I actually saw this in one of the groups on Facebook that I'm on, and I didn't say anything. A lot of times in the groups, I don't really say much unless it's something that I we feel is relevant for us to say or talk about. But whatever. But the question was, how do you feel about Jennie Mai or May and Jeezy, right? Now, for those that don't know who Jeezy is, he's a rapper, and I forget exactly where. I don't know if he's a Southern rapper or not. I don't know, but I remember when Jeezy first came out, and he's all right. Um, and Jennie May or Mai or whatever her name is on a show that's called The Real. I don't watch that show either, but I have seen Jennie Mai from time to time, and she bad. I mean, let's just be honest. She's pretty, very pretty. So the person in the email, basically, to sum it up, they left a lot of stuff and a lot of their opinions and thoughts and things like that. But their whole question was, what is my take on it? How do I feel about it? Some people are questioning her motives because she was married to a white guy, and I think that white guy had expressed some love for Trump or something like that. I can't remember. And some people are saying that Jeezy is against black women, or he is, all this other, the typical nonsense. And so the question is thoughts on all of it. And to me, you know where I stand. Anytime, and this has been since the dawn of the creation of this country, anytime a black man does something, doesn't matter any other guy, but anytime a black man does something, there's heavy scrutiny, whether it's in our own community, other communities, whatever. Anytime that we're doing something, whether it's a good thing, bad thing, whatever, there's going to be 40,000 eyes on that one person. That's just that's just society. Now, I'm not saying that that's always going to be the case, or that's always the case, or that everyone is that way. But 9 times out of 10, I remember and I'll get back to this. I remember there was a guy, black dude that I worked with, and him and I would just chit chat. And every time that I would turn around, we would notice eyes on us at work, just people just staring. And so we were like, whatever. And typically we were talking about nothing. You know what I mean? Like we were just talking about a bunch of nothing. And so one day I said, let's get, like, because normally we're talking like with some distance between us, right? Like, just a normal conversation at work. And so one day I said, let's get close together and like we're whispering to each other and see what happens. And I kid you not only do people stare. Now, these are people who are coworkers who normally, would talk to you, whatever. People get closer to you, pretending like they were doing something, but they would literally, we had a couple of people get close to us just to kind of see what was going on. Now, some people will say, oh, well, they probably would do that to anybody. And I know circumstances, I've seen this time and time and time and time and time and time again. I'm not someone who throws racism out there all the time, or someone who says that this is racist or that's racist or this and that happens. But I do know that typically, in most of the places that I've ever worked at, even some of the most well-intentioned folks, as soon as you have a couple of black dudes especially talking, everybody pays attention to that. I mean, everybody. Doesn't matter what race of woman, what race of man. For some reason, people focus on that. And so that's the first thing. Second thing is, people are talking about Jennie Mai, and they're calling her Chinese, they're calling her Vietnamese. She's actually mixed. She's part Chinese, part Vietnamese, right? And there's questioning her motives, this, that, and the other. And my thing is that who cares? I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, like, who really cares what Jennie Mai is doing, or May, and what Jeezy is doing? Like, I don't understand why people care so much about two people who don't know anything about the people who are in these posts talking about this. First off, who you date and who you marry has very little on your feelings about other people. You have some people saying, as long as you don't trash black women, I don't care who you date. Yet he hasn't said anything negative about anybody. And yet people are sitting there just railing on him back and forth. That's just not true always. What it boils down to is control. And that's one of the things that I push against the most. Because in those circumstances, and I bring up the incidents about workplaces because people want to control. They want to control what you're doing. They want to know what you're saying, what you're talking about. They just want to be in control of what you're doing. And when you don't give them that control, then they want to put everything else under the sun about it. They want to talk about you in every type of aspect in every type of way. Now, there were other people, most people at those job places that pretty much just ignored it and went on about their day. They didn't care. But you always have a few that will sit there and just really monitor and micromanage everything you're doing. Even if I'm not even talking about management, I'm talking about peers that will sit and really focus on what it is that you're doing. I've seen that time and time and time and time again. And when it comes to dating, when it comes to marriage, whatever, you have some of those same people who will do the exact same thing. And when things aren't going the way that they want it to go, then they want to sit and mention, well, he hates black women, which isn't true. It's not at all true. He has a kid by a black woman. He was married, I think, to a black woman. I'm not sure. I don't care that much about Jeezy's life or really anyone else's life, to be honest with you. I just know that he's a successful artist and she's a successful TV personality, which I think she was doing makeup and stuff before. I don't know. Both of them have way more money than what I'm ever going to actually see. And they're both living a really great life. And the people are sitting there questioning what she likes. I think she had mentioned before that she had liked black dudes or whatnot. But again, a lot of people are afraid to say what they like because people, especially people think I hate America. I don't. I just state the facts. I mean, there are a lot of things that's great about America. There's a lot of things that are just messed up. And it's not so much America, it's some of the people in America that's the biggest problem. It's the attitudes of people. That's the biggest issue. It's not the country. It really isn't. It's the attitudes of people. And it's not just leveled at one particular race group. It's every race group. All of them, sorry. Got a little bit of a cold. All of them have a problem. You know what I mean? And so to me, I think that she is choosing what she wants. I don't think that she sat out and searched for him. People are making it seem like she's this broke chick that's going after Jeezy because he has money. She probably has more money than he does. I don't know. And then they're making it seem like he's going after her because he hates black women, which is stupid. Stupid. I mean, and the other thing is that the stereotypes that people want to level at some black dudes saying that they only go for the fat, ugly, disgusting, blah, 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 doesn't fit. It does not fit. So that makes people even more upset about the situation, is that not only did he choose somebody who was bad, I mean, she's bad. She's not the smartest tool in the shed in some of the comments that she makes. I get it. But, and then there's Jeezy. He's pretty successful. You know what I mean? People don't like that. So to me, do I have a problem with them being in a relationship? No, it's their business. You know what I mean? Blasian relationships, and I think it also depends on where you are in the country too. The attitudes are different depending upon where you are. I mean, some of the places that you think are the most open-minded places and cities or areas are not that open-minded. People think the Northeast is super open-minded. That's just not true. That's not true at all. So, I mean, people want to think that the South is just all a bunch of bigots and all that. Yeah, there are bigoted people there. Absolutely. You can't deny the history of the South, but there are a lot of people when I go down South that would treat you a whole lot better than what you'll get up in some parts of the other parts of the country. It's just, I mean, I go back home with my family and no one even looks. No one stares, none of that. I've been to other places. You go to Chicago, you go to Milwaukee, you go to wherever, and people will stare at you all day long. Indianapolis, even. They'll stare at you all day long. That doesn't mean that those places are behind the times necessarily, but I'm just saying that it doesn't really, the places you would think are not going to be necessarily a problem, it's not always the case. People want to sit and talk negative about the South, but there have been instances where I've seen people sit and be so disgusted by bigotry and racism. Now, is it a stronghold for certain parties and all this other stuff? Sure, sure. But you have people of the same mindset all over. The problem comes, and of course the kids are going to be nuts. The problem for me comes based on the individual. I don't put any group of people in one box and say this is how they all think or this is how they all are. I basically look at a person and say, okay, can I trust this person? Can I not? Give me something to show that I can't trust you. And then after that, it's done. I'm done with that. So anyway, to answer your question, I think it's about control. They can't control either one of these individuals. They're upset because he chose someone who looks bad. I mean, she's hot. That bothers people. People are upset because they felt like he's the one that got away, even though he's not looking for those people anyway. Anyway, he's going to date someone that's going to be on his same level. So anyhow, tell me what you think about it. I think it's cool. I mean, as long as they respect each other and love each other, I mean, why would I care? Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I will see you. Take care.